Canadians can expect to receive support from the government because you know, we are committed to taking care of Canadians, and we're not corrupt at all. That's why I can't put a sentence together. Okay, ready?
Ready.
Warmed up, and I got all the L's out of my system. I pulled a Justin Trudeau. We're on our way to do a tour of the old office, and by the old office I mean my old condo. So right on this corner here, we're in Port Moody, is my old condo building, which is where we started Grant Cardone Canada. It's where we started Yesa, and I haven't been back. I was like, I don't want to go back. I haven't been back there since I moved out. This is my condo. Not the one up there. We always make the joke, not the one above the bushes. It's the one through the bushes. Okay, that's the first floor. That's the view. This is the place that I lived in 2017. We started Grant Cardone Canada here. So this is where I lived, and this is where we operated the business. This was both my condo and my office. We started with 5 guys, some folding plastic chairs, some folding plastic tables. We painted whiteboards on the wall, which was the worst idea because when I needed to move out, painting over them was a real pain in the ass. But this is literally the humble beginnings of my business. We actually started with $75,000 in startup capital, thanks Dat and Chris, but we lost a good chunk of our startup capital on day 1 because I had a business partner back out. He took the startup capital and he took a chunk of a major contract with him. So we had a guaranteed contract from a client. He took that away when he left, so we literally had to start out of here instead of starting out of my office, which we have now. Before this, I was on the 29th floor, downtown Vancouver. I was working in Cole Harbour, which was, you know, a nice place to work. I was on the 15th floor in my office. I was an executive. I had 200 staff. I was a director. I felt great. And I realized that I was plateauing, you know. I was no longer learning. You know, part of that was my ego. Part of that was the people I was surrounded by. You know, I was comparing myself to my surroundings, and my surroundings weren't inspiring. They had settled, most of these people. So what I decided to do, hop on an airplane, fly down to Miami, meet with Grant Cardone because he was such an inspiration to me at the time. And I said, hey, listen, let us represent you. We started our business here. So I went and got permission from Grant to represent his brand in Canada, and we started calling businesses. And we were the #1 sales training business in Canada. The #1 sales training business, calling companies out of here with nothing more than a script and a list. And we would call businesses and it would sound something like, hey there, John, I know you weren't expecting this call. I'll keep it quick. It's Corrie calling from Grant Cardone's office. We're the #1 dealer optimization business on the planet. Hey, can you turn the blender down? Blender, turn it down. And we were literally making calls. You could hear the blender going. You could hear the oven dinging. You know, my girlfriend at the time was walking around pissed off with a scowl on her face because she had her robe on and she couldn't even enjoy her own condo. You know, all my guys are trying to sneak a peek because her robe's slightly ajar. And that was our business. And fast forward now, what created the success was 10X. That's the whole theme of this series of videos is 10X got me here. 10X got us from this building, got us from this condo, which is about 800 square feet. My neighbors hated me. They were all complaining all the time, getting complaints from the strata council or the condo board saying, hey, you started a business in a residential unit. This is not encouraged. Please stop. So we had to frost the windows. We used to scrunchel up the complaints that we used to get in the mail. But we did what we had to do. We did $329,000 in sales out of my condo before we ended up moving into a real office. And 10X mentality is what got us out of trouble. It's what got us out of that discomfort. So yeah, this is where I used to live. The guys used to line up every morning. So we would literally have them, they would come out, they would line up here, and at 7:15 I would come and let them into the condo. And these guys would show up early. And I'll tell you right now, showing up early when it's my house is not a virtue. It's not a virtue. It's not something that I'm like, oh, that's great. Like, no, don't show up early. And these guys were like go-getters, type A personalities, so they're showing up like 10, 15 minutes early. I'm eating my breakfast, and I'm like, oh, thanks, I still got 15 more minutes. And then I just hear the buzzer, and then I hear them text me, hey man, I'm here. And it's pouring rain out because we started in April, in British Columbia in April, it's just pouring rain. Just being here is just reinstilling like some healthy paranoia. To be real, you know, it's healthy paranoia. I'm like looking at this, I'm like, fuck, like you better work your ass off, dude, because you know, it's one thing going up. It's one thing going from the back of the plane to the front of the plane, but going from the front of the plane to the back of the plane, that's way harder, way harder. And this is how it all started.